I Am Rapaport podcast is sponsored by Casper Mattresses, Casper.com. It's an award-winning sleep startup. Go to Casper.com, $50 off purchase of any size mattress. Damn. Put in the code Rapaport, R-A-P-A-P-O-R-T, Casper Mattress in New York City. You could keep the bed for 100 nights. You could get your freak on for 100 nights. If you do not like the bed after 100 nights, you can return the mattress within 100 days. That's a guarantee. The bed will be delivered between 2 to 5 days anywhere in the United States and Canada. Same day delivery in New York City. We do not plug, we do not support, we do not take sponsorship from anything we have not tried and we are not passionate about 450%.
Hey, this is Doug Gottlieb, and I've got my own brand new podcast called Dug In. What we do is we take the absolute best interviews from the week, and we cut them up, and we present it in a nice little tight package, and I think you'll love it. Plus, I have unique commentary that I only reserve for the podcast. See, we give you the inside of the Doug Gottlieb Show. You can get it by going to play.it/Dugin or search Dug In on iTunes. Love if you join me. That's Dug In, search on iTunes or play.it/Dugin.
This is the I Am Rapaport stereo podcast coming live and direct from my man's Gloom Tomb. Because Wood, I'm in here. Let me just get into this real quick. I'm interviewing. Now I'm gonna fuck your head up, Wood, because we're friends. But I'm interviewing one of my actual favorite contemporary actors, one of my favorite peers, one of my favorite actors, Wood Harris. Now some people might go, wait, who? How the fuck? I'm talking about Avon Barksdale. Okay, I'm talking about Above the Rim. I'm talking about his pedigree is long. I'm talking about a track record that goes back. I'm talking about When We Were Titans.
Yeah, only we call it Remember the Titans.
Okay. I'm in here with Wood Harris. I'm currently displaced. So I'm at this is an actual Gloom Tomb, because the studio for the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast is called the Gloom Tomb, Wood. I know for somebody who is like renowned as you already told me that your internet, Instagram, Twitter game is on the low.
It's on idling.
But grab that mic though, Wood.
Word, got it.
All right, so I'm in here with Wood Harris. I don't even know where to start, but we're friends. But I get to fan out. Here's what I want to say about your career and you as an actor.
Okay.
Number one, I think you're completely, by Hollywood standards, undervalued, underappreciated, and you haven't even tapped the surface of what you can do.
I agree.
You agree, right?
I agree. As far as tapping the service, undermanned, underserviced, underrated, I guess.
Underrated.
I don't really look at myself that way because it's hard to see yourself that way, but it's cool if others see yourself that way.
I see you that way.
You know what I'm saying?
Before
People
I
say
knew
that a
you,
lot.
I was a fan of yours, and then I don't remember when we first met.
A long time ago, bro.
It was a while ago.
Pre-Grays.
Yes.
Now I'm on that Just for Men shit.
So this is where I'm going to start. People probably first saw you when you came out in Above the Rim, which is a film that obviously, because of the Tupac factor, is a classic, a true classic. And when you were doing that movie Above the Rim, was that your first film?
That was my first film.
That was the first thing that you did?
First thing I auditioned for, Mike.
Are you serious?
Very lucky.
So
yeah.
How did that happen? Because this is the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. Because I know you're not familiar with the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. Although I know you fuck with me hard body karate.
Of course.
I don't fact check. We fact check nothing.
Okay, cool.
Okay, but
cool.
I did just do a little I just want to I know all these things I want to talk to Wood about, but there's a couple of things that I didn't know. Now you got a fucking degree and a master's degree. You got all kinds of degrees and all kinds of fly shit. Like I didn't know all about that.
Yeah, that shit, that put me in a position to get Above the Rim, because that had me going to New York University to really go after my pursuit of, my acting pursuit. Started really with me going to New York University and just trying to get some chops. And my brother,
Steve Harris.
Steve Harris, who people know from The Practice and many other things.
He was on The Practice for like, what,
the
26
whole 8
years?
Yeah, I think it was, 8 times 5.
He was like on The Practice for 26 27 years, right?
27 years,
like that had a run.
They had a run.
Okay,
a
so if you
serious
don't know
run.
that, Steve Harrison, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, they might not know that because The Practice somehow is in the clouds. But Steve Harris, my older brother, he told me one day, like, there was a movie casting that had basketball in it. Now, I'm a big basketball dude, so
You got game. You're one of the people who I would say, as far as actors, who could actually play.
One of the better basketball actors, I guess you could say.
You're one of the better basketball actors. Like, I seen Wood dunk on motherfuckers, like, not on some, like, Dominique shit, but on some, like, Dr. J in his older years. Wood, let's not front. You weren't on some Doc, like, with the Nets. I never saw that, but I did see you. You got the claws, you got the hands.
More like Mike, you heard?
No, you were like on some older Doc, but you were on some Doc shit.
That's true. But
I saw you bang it on somebody. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I banged.
You just banged it on somebody.
Back in the days before I tore my Achilles, Mike.
Okay.
And then after I tore my Achilles, it was a grounded bird. I'm an ostrich now.
Okay.
But yeah, my brother told me about that, and then I felt very confident once I heard it was, but I had no agent, nobody rep me. So he called this old agent back in New York who no longer exists. Her name was Fifi Ascard.
Okay.
And she was a small boutique agency. And I went and took a fucking picture, like for a headshot, like some, a BS picture, a glossy thing.
Right.
Took it to her. She put it in for my for my audition to be in Above the Rim. And then as soon as I got the actual, and I felt very strong as an actor already. I felt like, well, how they gonna find a better basketball playing, actor?
Right.
At that time, Tupac wasn't even involved. It had, I think they had Tretch in mind, and Forrest Whitaker was involved, and all these other names. And so when I went in, I had those people in the back of my mind. Really, Forrest Whitaker in the back of my mind.
Right.
And so I go in, I audition, I felt very confident, and then that night, the casting director called me personally, and she's like, you know what, we're fighting for you to get this role. And I thought to myself.
And you hadn't even auditioned?
No, after I auditioned for it. She said, you're going to come back in, and after my first audition, she called me and was like, I think we're going to fight for you to get this role. And so if you can come back in on a such and such date. And I was like, yeah. I got off the phone, called my mom. I said, Mom, I think I'm about to get this role in this movie. My brother was out of town at the time. I was living in New York and living on 26 and what was I living on? Like 26 and 3rd or something. 26 over there. And small little super small apartment the size of like really a closet.
Okay.
It really was a closet. Long story made short, I mean, they did. They put in a bid for me and I ended up getting the role. And my callback was the basketball part. So I was dunking on everybody and clowning. And when I left the court, the director came up to me. He's like, you got the role. So on my train ride home, I'm like on the C train, whatever train I'm on, going back, not even going home, going to the school, going to New York University. I was like, whoa, I got this movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I had to tell the school, because now I'm thinking, do I have to drop out or what's going to happen? Because I didn't really want to drop out. So,
and you're studying acting at this school?
Yeah.
Like you're getting your master's degree?
Getting a master's, yeah.
And you had already gotten your...
I'd already gotten undergrad.
I'm going to keep it 4,000. I don't know the difference. You're talking
Ain't
to
no
somebody...
difference.
But master's is like, yo, you're taking it a step further, like you're going even further with it.
Well, yeah, the master's
So
program,
you're like on some Shakespearean shit.
Yeah. I mean, I did Shakespeare in the Park. I did Broadway 2 years ago. The only production of Streetcar Named Desire with a black cast has got me in it. And, yeah, man, I mean, I thought I was going to be a thespian in that sense of
right.
theater. Even though, I mean, I'm from the hood, you know what I'm saying? But I just felt like artistic and a good way to express it. Also, I thought I'd be a rapper. I thought I was going to be, because I'm in New York. So I thought like, well, shit, I'm in New York, so shit. I'm friends with Dante Bazay, a.k.a., Yassine Bey, a.k.a. Most Def to most people. So I know him for my whole career, his whole career. And I just thought I was going to be on the mic. But I didn't want to leave school. I just thought if I left school, I was just going to be kind of in the street in a sense. Like, I just didn't think I was going to have a way in. I just looked at NYU like a way in to the game, meaning show business in general, because it's going to have me in New York, and then I'm getting on the mic, even if I got to snatch the mic. Or I just felt like that.
Right.
When I got the movie, the the school put me on probation. They allowed me to do the movie, and so they gave me off a whole semester.
Oh, okay.
And New York University has a master's program as a conservatory, so it's not under the same guidelines as a non-conservatory school. So I didn't have to do like writing assignments.
Okay.
It was all specifically to make you a master. It wasn't to grade you. It wasn't to see if you could pass a test.
I got you.
In fact, if you weren't good enough, they put you out. So you had to be at a certain level.
Skill-wise.
Billy Crudup was in my class.
Oh, shit.
Well, he was a class above me.
Who else?
Jeffrey Wright
Oh, shit.
was two classes above. He got kicked out.
But these dudes were around you. You
They
were doing
around.
shit with them.
Oh yeah, Billy, yeah. Not Jeff. Jeff had already, I think Jeff left the school or whatever. In my class is Mike Hall, who played Dexter.
Yep.
Close friend of mine, you
That's
guys
dope.
know. Dan Kim, who is on Hawaii Five-0.
Okay.
So, we had a good makeup of a class, to be honest with you.
So you get above the rim.
I get above the rim.
And then
I'm
what
in school.
happens?
I tell the school they put me on probation. I go shoot the movie. I got to know Tupac. And to be honest with you, at that time I wasn't like a Tupac fan. That was the early shit, like Tupacalypse. This is before anybody was bona fide. He wasn't a legend. He was just a rapper. And to me, I was a rapper. And so he was a peer. And I never felt like no rapper was better than me but Rakim and all those dudes. I was really inspired by them.
I got you.
Like I'm in the same class as Jay-Z, and in terms of, class of 87 or class of 80,
right,
whatever class.
Age-wise,
right. So, and Tupac and all that. So they just felt like peers. And, back then it was like you didn't really, nowadays, everybody's kind of like a follower. You following somebody in social media or you being followed. But back then you didn't really want to follow nobody. You wanted to be original. And, so to me, a lot was predicated on being original and showing that that you had originality and you was just dope. Like whatever you touched, like you had the Midas touch, and it's different now. Now the game is different. But back then, anyway. So
you met Tupac.
So I met Tupac.
And what was that like? Because that during, I know you're gonna probably bring this up, but during the making of Above the Rim, that's when the shit hit the fan.
Oh yeah,
he got
that's
shot.
Right.
So, but I mean, that was when the crazy.
We should do that doc, the making of Above the Rim,
the making of Above the Rim. That was
a lot
fucking nuts.
happened. That's the first time Pac got shot. That's when Pac caught the rape charge. I was at the club when the girl. Me and Marlon Wayans is in that movie, Bernie Mac is in that movie, Leon, Dwayne Martin, who I'm shooting this movie with now, and I'm doing this movie with Mike Rapaport right here also, and Dwayne is in it. But that was Dwayne's second movie, my first movie, Pac's second movie.
You were at the club when that shit went down?
I was at the club when she blew him on the, dead ass. It was a crowd around him, and she blew him on the dance floor. Well, in the room. The whole room was the dance floor. She blew him. Everybody's like, whoa! And he couldn't stop her from doing it.
She pulled the loaf out.
And ate the loaf. You heard?
On the dance floor.
On the dance floor in front of everybody. But that's a classic story. Everybody knows that.
Right.
But I was there.
Right.
Also,
that's a crazy...
the making of Above the Rim, man. Don't nobody steal that. Me and Mike, we got copyrights on that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Break your jaw.
No doubt.
Jaw jack,
fucking
y'all.
doubt.
Try to take our idea.
So, no, because motherfuckers are taking. Listen.
They steal shit. I can't be saying
left
shit
and
live.
fucking. No, you got to just put it out there, and then you got to date it. And if they want to steal, they got to steal.
What's today?
They know what it is. When this is going national. Yeah. So instantly.
Right.
You're so out of the fucking loop with technology. I love it. This motherfucking podcast is going worldwide. Probably in the next 24 hours.
Shit.
And the fact that you just told me that you were there when Tupac got his loaf sucked at, what was it, Nell's?
At Nell's. Does Nell's still exist? I think
it does still, but it's like a cafe or something. Like it's like it's gentrified.
Yeah, the whole New York, thanks to Giuliani. That's another subject.
Nell's is gentrified.
Oh God! Damn.
I don't know. I don't know. But the sign for Nell's is still there.
Shit.
All right. I want to stay focused because the one thing that I think why you're such a good, unique actor is like there's a purity about you. Like there's like a water about you. And I remember.
But we're like a carbon copy, Mike. I gotta tell you.
No. This is about Wood Harris.
I'm like a carbon copy of you, though.
No.
But
this
you
is
ain't
about
gonna get away with no shit like it's just about me.
No, you're on some water shit. And you know what? I felt like you got.
This dude on the mic across from me is basically just like me. You know what I mean? Even the same height. You know what I'm saying?
But
we
listen,
like carbon copies.
Well, you fucked my head up. We're gonna go back to Above the Rim because I got a lot to ask and I wanted that whole ride. But one
Y'all
of your
saw Higher Learning. All right then. So
one of your
ain't nobody else gotta
underappreciated
say
roles.
nothing else. Like, come on, that's it right there. That's extremely underappreciated. You want to talk about underappreciated performances?
This is the
Oh
Iron
my
Rapaport
God.
Stereo Podcast.
Like
You're the fucking guest of
performance-
honor.
Hold
boy.
on, that performance is really up there with all the best performances. Straight up, that's a complex character, and as an artist, I recognize that, bro. Like I
appreciate
can't let
that.
you slide.
I appreciate
can't,
that.
If I could let you slide, I would let you slide. I can't let you slide.
All right, I appreciate
that role right there is the biggest, best performance, and everybody knows it.
I appreciate
Every
that.
actor knows it. Every actor knows it.
Listen, Wood.
That's why they love and respect Mike to a certain level, because once you've seen something, once you've seen him give up the art to that extent, I mean, now it's on the wall in the gallery with the rest of people's art, and it stands strong. It's a timeless performance.
Enough. So, I'm dinging the fucking bell because it's your fucking pedestal moment. I'm interviewing
I'm just being
you.
truthful though. I gotta be truthful the whole time.
But I want to say, when you did the Hendrix movie, which I don't know, like I feel like your Hendrix movie and then Andre 3000's Hendrix movie, they were announced at the same time. They were sort of, that movie's been talked about for years, different variations, even before your film.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were fucking sick in that film. Now I feel like you outshined the film itself, but you were really, really, really good, and you exuded to me the spirit of Jimi Hendrix. You know, like just like who you are, and the fact that we've been in here for 50 minutes, just, you know, before we even started podcast. Like you're just like on that. Like you're just like on, like when I always think of you, I'm like, because I was telling my girls, like, yo, I'm interviewing Wood, I'm excited about Wood, and I was like, I always think of him as a pure artist. You know what I mean? And anyway. So I just want to let you, if you haven't seen Wood in the Hendrix film, rewatch it.
Just look at a clip of it on YouTube.
Look at a clip, because he tears shit up. And he was in there, he was playing the guitar, he was freaking off with the white girls. He did the whole Jimi Hendrix thing top to bottom, and he did it really, really, really well. Now, okay, back to Above the Rim.
Okay.
Tupac on so talk to me about that. What do you remember about that whole thing? And like when I say Tupac to you, since you had a personal relationship with him before he really became into like that superhero status, because that really, I feel like when he got shot, God bless the dead, and he was carried into the gurney, and he had his middle finger up. It was like that was like
First
the
time he
beginning
got
of
shot.
like iconic craziness, and you know, you could be like thug life and all that, but eventually, you know, that was the beginning of the end and the death and all that stuff.
I think regarding Tupac, and I talked to Tupac 2 weeks before he died. He got shot, and then he took a week to live. He died in a week. He died like a week later. So
you had spoken to him after he got shot the second time?
Yeah. 2 weeks before he died, that second time he got shot. The first time he got shot, I think Tupac, what you saw around Tupac at that time in his life never really went away. It was just he had all the wrong people around him. Like I kind of learned from Tupac, it's okay to be, you know, I don't need a posse. Like he had a bunch of people around him that was just unsavory types. He really attracted those, and thus Suge Knight was one of those unsavory types. And just that whole world, he attracted that. Even though Tupac, to me, when you talk to him alone, he'd be talking about Lorraine Hansberry, the author of Raisin in the Sun, a playwright, talking about Gandhi and talking about shit like that. So Tupac was extremely artistic. But I think the real beginning, that is kind of a marker, just that that is a marker.
Things got awry.
Things went south.
When you get shot
That
like
night
that,
in Nails turned out to really be the start of it. Because think about it. Because of that, the girl came back to the hotel. She was easy in the club. She was blowing this dude in the club. The same guys were around. They all was fondling her. Anybody could do anything to her in the club. Now they go back to a hotel. She want to get down with Pac. She gets down with Pac. And the rest of everybody kind of knows but don't really know at all. Pac is the type of dude loyal to these dudes who, these people around whom were like, most of us wouldn't have these kind of cats around. They just were, Pac looked at it like Jesus had, his disciples, the 12 disciples, and none of them those were unruly people too. He just looked at it like, I could have, kind of like, I don't want to say the scum of the earth, because that's not me to call people that. They just were, I wouldn't even say just hood people, man, just sort of, he shouldn't have the people around, man. Troublemakers. Let me just put it to you that way.
Right.
People would not, who, if most of your heart is cold, he kept people like that around because he felt like, they gonna dig me and be cool with me, and they'll go off my vibe. But instead, he kind of went off theirs.
Right.
Because Pac wasn't just like this straight up vigilante dude like that.
So when you were doing that film, and we're going to examine this closer in the soon to be manufactured and made Above the Rim documentary.
Exactly.
How aware of you guys were, like, when you found out that he had gotten shot, and like, because I remember that was like fucking nuts, man. That was crazy. And I was aware of the movie being made because of him.
In New York,
I was in New York, and you just heard about it, like, because I know
that
Marlon.
was the good old days, by the way, bro. We saying what we saying, but that was the good old days. The 90s in New York.
Yeah, it was
Come on, man, stop playing. That was the
93?
most fun you could have. That's 93, bro.
That was 93?
Man, 93 was hot in New York. In 93, man, New York was popping, bro. That was a long time ago, though.
90-fucking-3, man. I mean, think about the hip hop that was going on.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs is the Above the Rim soundtrack of Tupac, Pain. It was only on, I think.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
I think it was only on the tape and not the CD.
I had to look that up on YouTube.
That was one of my favorite Tupac shits, because I just remember like that song. I was like, you really felt like this motherfucker. Like, the thing that I loved about Tupac is, like, I wouldn't say, me personally, I wouldn't say, I know this is like sacrilegious, but I wouldn't say he was the best rhymer. But I would say the thing that he did better than probably, I would say almost everybody, is like he was able to articulate his
right. You
felt a piece of him.
You could agree with that. The best. You can't say he's the best. Listen, I'm gonna tell you the wild shit about me is, bro. Like I said in the beginning, that I wasn't a quote unquote fan. That doesn't mean that I ain't like him. I'm just saying a fan is somebody that, supports the artist and is, buying their stuff, and a diehard fan. But I became one because I didn't get Tupac. I mean, I didn't get it.
Right.
Like I knew the dude. I didn't get Tupac till, be honest with you, after he was gone. I kind of missed the boat. My ego probably was there or whatever, and I missed the boat. I didn't get it. But he's the greatest to ever touch the mic in terms of performance on the mic. Mm-hmm. The only other ones up there with him, he could show you rage on the mic and show you like no one does that. And he can show you vulnerability on the mic, and the lyrics were extremely well written lyrics, and
it's true,
and multi subjects too. Nowadays, every rapper's got like, really
they suck.
One thing. They kind of suck.
Not every rapper sucks, but I mean, that's a whole other thing.
It's a bunch of young cats who pretty good, but
I wouldn't say a bunch. It's a handful.
A handful is a bunch, man.
Okay, it depends on how big your fucking hands
Mike
are.
Mike hates rap now. He hates it because I
so
understand
upset.
why. Yeah, it's disappointing. It's like rap could have done a lot of things, and look what it's doing. So
look what the fuck it's doing.
Look what it's doing.
All right, so stay on. So when you're making the film, your co-star and a guy you're becoming friends with gets fucking shot during the making of a movie. I mean, people don't understand. Like, there's some.
Yeah, that's unusual. Now, it's funny because I was there. Now that I think about it, that's crazy because that's never happened to me again. Yeah. I mean, wow. And
it's the front page of the news. It was like playing out.
Front page. Man, to be honest with you, I was in it, so I just kind of was happening around me. The director came up and was like, "You might have to finish this film. We might have to rewrite this film at the end." But instead, they went and got a lookalike. What people don't know. See, that's what we're gonna cover when we do
the doc, the Above the Rim doc.
That if somebody try to steal, that we're gonna come and see
Smack
if they try
fire
to steal
out your
our
ass.
shit. And I'm bringing somebody, man.
Yeah,
with me.
They ain't gonna steal it.
Yeah. So a lot. There's a lookalike in that movie
to finish the film. So you were saying
Bruce Lee, like in Into the Dragon,
right? So you were saying you spoke to him 2 weeks before he passed.
Yeah, 2 weeks before he passed.
And what was like? What was?
It was a brief conversation. It wasn't a long-winded conversation because I'm not long-winded. He wasn't long-winded on the phone. You know, it was just a checking in type thing. I ended up talking to him because my brother's friend, again, my brother, the great Steve Harris from The Practice, his friend, whose name I will not mention, also knew Pac, and called him up and was like, "Yo, I got this dude who." Da-da. So that's how I ended up talking to him on the phone. I didn't call him on my own and initiate the call. He didn't call me.
Got you.
But what happened was that the call was made, and then we ended up chopping it up. Tupac was. I learned a lot from Tupac, working with Tupac.
What? Like what?
Well, one thing he did on the set, there was a take that had a technical problem, and he was supposed to, it was just a little easy scene, Mike, where you drive up, get out the car and walk, and that's it. It was just like a little coverage scene. So he drives up and he can't open the door because the latch on the door was one of them slippery type, like it didn't have a knob on it. So he kept on struggling with it and it was stuck and all that type of stuff. So he tried one time, they said cut. He tried it again, same thing happened. So then Tupac got out the car and said, "Okay, I'll be back when y'all fix the door."
Right.
He went to his trailer and he stayed in the trailer for like 2 hours. Now, I'm not that type of an actor and I'm not that type of an artist, but I did learn something from that. I liked how the crew, the director, that director died last year too.
Damn.
Or was it the year before? He just died recently, yeah. He also directed, he went on to direct Booty Call.
Right.
His first movie was Above the Rim though, so I'm sure, you know, that's really his thing. But yeah, I learned like how he worked with those people wasn't how I would work with them, but I still had to learn that, you know. And but I would find a happy medium.
Right.
I don't just go on the set and get told what to do. Right. And my first movie taught me you don't just have a director move you. Right. Puppet you around. Right. But you got to come prepared. Tupac, I never saw him unprepared. He was prepared as an actor. He always was prepared. He never was I never saw him unprepared.
Did you get a sense that he loved acting?
Yeah. Big time. Tupac loved expressing. Right. If you think about it, that's why I just said about him on the mic. Like he was the best performer on the mic of the act. Yes. You know, there's every MC gets on the mic, there's an act. Rakim gets on the mic. You know, I want to relax in the room and escape from New York to return through the womb of the world as a thought. But when he performs it, you know, he gives it that 5%er, right? You know, thing. That shit. That shit. So his performance is dope. We love Rakim, the only character like that who performed like that. Tupac is something different. Right. Though. He got like a Black Panther inside of him. A real rageful animal inside. Right. All right, so you talked about rapping. You talked about Mos Def, a.k.a. Yasin Bey. Yeah. So talk about, because you told me some wild shit. Like, you were, like, officially, like, MCing. Like, you were open. Like, so what? People, 99% of the people aren't going to know. No, nobody knows. Like, you want to battle me real quick? No, I'm just fucking with you. I can't. No, I'm just But like, so talk about that. Like, so I just took it really seriously. That's all. I just thought very seriously about art in general. Really, I still do. I still just take it all serious in the sense where I'm committed to it for my livelihood, and not just pay for my feelings, for how I feel about myself. You have to do it. Yeah, I kind of have to do it. Like, if I don't do it, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna be doing then. You know? I got you. It's like, what am I gonna do? I got you. Just be a dude. I got you. I mean, and so now I'm so much in it that I just don't know anything else. So, but didn't you tell me, like, you told me, like, you opened, like, I opened for lots of people. So break that down, like Tribe Called Quest, NWA, 2 Live Crew. See, I'm going back. And as a solo, or were you in a group, or like? Well, solo. And what was your FOTM? Because I grew up in Chicago, so we had the FOI, Fruit of Islam. So what I based mine on was like Fruit of the Mind was the name of the group, FOTM. It was just me, a DJ, and I thought I was Big Daddy Kane, so I had 2 dancers. And you were doing your shit. I had 2 dancers. I just danced in the middle of them too, just like I stole basically Big Daddy Kane's routine. Him, Scoop, and Scrap. Scoop love of my brother, Scrap love of the other. And I had action and reaction. My 2 dancers was action and reaction. And this is Chi-Town crew. Chi-Town all day. Like I'm the oldest, one of the I should say, I hate to say old because that makes it seem like something ain't working, but I should say pioneers in Chicago hip hop.
Okay.
But it's difficult for them to talk about it like that because I'm just a different artist today. So
I got you. But when you're opening up for these groups. So what do you like? What was like the craziest shit? Like you're opening for Tribe, you're opening for NWA.
I even did a show with Kane, Queen Latifah, Special Ed. We did Arena with them.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
So you were like this
Very
is
serious.
This is before NYU.
I'm gonna show you a pic. You can put that shit online. I'm gonna send you an old.
Send me the pic.
Yeah, it's dope too.
But I'm gonna have to stay.
It's
on
me
you
at
to send
like
the pic.
20 with my crew.
Don't
like,
fax it
after
to me
the
because
show.
I feel
No,
like
I'ma email you the pic.
your whole modern internet program. I feel like
I'm
we're
lame
like
with that.
12 years behind.
I'm
So I
lame
don't
with
want
that.
you faxing the fucking
Mike
pic to
busting
me.
on my internet
no, because
game.
and I respect
just don't
that.
do that.
You're better off. I'm
I
not
just
bragging
can't
that I
find-
do.
I mean-
I'm fucked up in the game because I do.
You know what?
But just
I'm reading
all
the
I'm saying,
newspaper. Okay, that's a big difference.
you're
Like,
my man, 50 grand.
I'm on the
I
newspaper.
just don't want you faxing the pic. I need you to text me or email me that shit.
I'm gonna hologram it to you, bro.
But so when you're doing these shows,
Hologram. Fax me a hologram.
was that where were you doing this before NYU? Like you're doing this in the 80s?
Definitely, yes. It was the '80s.
And so in the Chicago hip hop community,
Chicago scene, it was before even Common, but just before Common, but not before Tongue Twister. So I did shows with who you call Tongue Twister. Tongue Twister is one of the pioneers of hip hop out of Chicago. And
what about Kanye West? At this point, is Kanye West? You never heard that name.
There was no Kanye West. There was no Kanye West. Although Kanye came a decade later or so.
Okay. So this is early.
Early, the very beginning of Chicago, which ain't the beginning of rap, was already old, but Chicago was many moons behind New York. So
in hip hop world,
yeah.
in hip hop years.
Yeah, house music was in Chicago,
Right.
and I wasn't a house head. So,
Me neither.
So I just was a hip hop head, and I ended up my best friend and my DJ, and we ended up landing a manager, and I just went pursuit of it, and so. The manager got us shows, and so we ended up the early dudes doing hip hop in Chicago.
Okay. We're gonna post that picture with the thing. All right, so because I can't cover every
Super
fucking
fresh.
thing you've ever. Super fresh.
Yeah, super fresh.
All right, I can't cover everything that you've done. So let's talk about this. Remember the Titans, aka When We Were Titans. Denzel, you're in this movie. It's a big fucking movie. Talk to me about that film. That's a classic film too.
It is a classic.
Denzel Washington, you're working with him. What was that like? What was that film like? What was the making of that film like?
Well, I mean, the making of that film was dope. We shot that in Atlanta. It's a true story. That's another thing. I've done a lot of true stories.
Right.
Even Hendrix.
Paid in full.
Avon Barksdale is a real person. True stories. And Paid in Full. What I'm Doing Now.
Right.
9/11. It's weird now that I think about it. It's a lot of true stories. But most actors get fictitious stuff. But Remember the Titans ended up being like great for me. Getting to know Denzel, that was dope. He came and saw me on Broadway.
Wow.
Yeah, Denzel is super dope. I looked up to Denzel at the time. Even though I always wanted to just be my own original thing, I still looked up to Denzel. Getting Remember the Titans, I had already done Hendrix.
Right.
So I had lost like a bunch of weight because I just wasn't eating because, I couldn't imagine eating and playing Jimi Hendrix. I just wanted to live like Hendrix, so I wasn't doing contemporary stuff. I didn't listen to contemporary music. I rented a small house, super small in Los Feliz at the bottom of this hill where nobody could see me. I had a car that was from the 50s and I just was committed to it. So
You went in on that.
I went in on it because I just felt like, you don't want to do a disservice to some living people. That's the thing about getting true stories. It's like, you don't want to do a disservice to people. And I had met some of his family members and stuff. So it seems like there's so much on the line, you just don't want to fuck up. So
Did you play guitar beforehand?
I didn't play guitar.
You didn't play guitar at all?
No, I didn't play guitar. I play now left-handed.
You learned to play and you learned to play left-handed for the Hendrix film?
I can't say that I was efficient at playing guitar at that time, but I'm efficient now, and it's because of Jimi Hendrix. And
you were efficient enough to look like you were playing guitar.
Yeah, they taught me where the notes would be and
Right.
the chords would be at that time. But that film, like you said, they made mistakes that I think, I wish they hadn't made.
You
Matty
superseded the film. I feel like your performance was way better than the film.
Yeah.
And I feel like It wasn't taken as seriously as it should be.
It couldn't
I
be. It
remember
couldn't
watching
be.
it, Wood.
Yeah.
This how impressed I was with you. I remember where I was when I saw it. I was in my my first home that I owned on. Remember when the this is before flat TVs, when you had those big shits you had to get rolled in. You couldn't even lift them. They were like, it was like a piece of furniture. And I remember watching and I was like, I don't think I knew you. I think we played ball together in the Hollywood League. I don't think I ever cracked your ass in that league. I want to stay focused. I want to stay focused.
Started.
I don't think I ever cracked that.
I'm a 2-time champ from the league.
Okay,
man.
I don't want to get. I want to stay focused.
Put some respect on my name.
I want to
bro.
stay focused. But I
I'm a
remember
2-time champ, man.
I'm pretty sure while
you
we were
finished,
doing.
how you done?
Okay, I'm just saying. I don't think I ever bust that ass, but I want to stay focused and talk about Hendrix. I remember seeing him and be like, this motherfucker, because like everybody, you're like Jimi Hendrix, come on, and I was like, this motherfucker's really fucking good. Like, look at this shit. Like, he's like Jimi fucking Hendrix.
As an actor, you could just see the hard work. As a fellow actor or artist, you can just see the hard work. But that film, like you said, it could be better, man. A lot of things you do can be better. So
you never know.
You can't control the outcome of shit. That film ended up Matty Rich.
He directed it? Straight out of Brooklyn?
Started as the director of it.
Oh,
he was
shit.
fired by the company. And then Leone Chasko, who directed Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill with my brother in it and Wesley Snipes. He came on.
During production, they fired him?
During production, they fired him.
You were shooting?
Look, the making of that is crazy, too.
Wow.
The only people they kept from that was me, Billy Zane. They fired literally everybody else, and Vivica was in that.
While you're making the film?
While making
I'd never been in a film that happened. That's crazy.
Damn, that's weird. The first movie I did, somebody got shot in, and not somebody, but Tupac.
You might want to start looking in the mirror, because you're talking about directors and entire crews getting fired.
Look,
what the fuck?
Entire director crew and everybody got fired.
Jesus Christ. Anyone get shot during the making of that?
Nobody got shot.
You're my man.
Now that I know
$50,000.
of, maybe after they got fired. But Matty Rich, let me tell you something, man. Matty Rich, if you listening to this, I got love for you. I don't throw people under the bus, but come on, man. Sometimes, you gotta be real about stuff. So I don't like to throw people under the bus. Matty Rich got fired. I can't say he didn't deserve to get fired.
Right. And that's it. You don't need.
So because of that,
you could throw somebody in the bus without even throwing them under the bus. I fuck with Straight Outta Brooklyn.
I mean, come on. I fuck with Straight Outta Brooklyn too. But Matty Rich, he just didn't know really how to handle that story. So he got fired, and everybody but me and Billy Zane, who he chose, and Vivica got fired, including the wardrobe people, literally everybody.
Jesus
so the
Christ.
film shut down for a whole 10 days. And revamped.
Wow.
So for 10 days, I don't
think people understand.
In Toronto.
That's you.
Have you never experienced anything? I think everybody go through this shit. I guess not.
Every film that I do, there's always consideration. Let's get rid of this cocksucker. I'm always like, they're always wanting let's get rid of Rapaport. He's fucking everything up.
Never.
I mean,
never.
I've
people
never
love Mike on the set.
I'm just playing, but I've never been a part of. I feel like I don't think
no drama.
I've been a part of drama, but never. First of all, firing a director during mid-production.
I guess that's crazy.
It doesn't get any crazier than that. And really, I mean, as far as failure, you're setting yourself up for failure. I don't give a fuck if you better bring in Martin Scorsese to fix that.
Now you got to bring in Martin. Yeah, right.
You got to bring in something like because you're already. It's hard enough making a movie to begin with. Yeah. Nonetheless, Denzel. When we were Titans, aka Remember the Titans. I'm changing the name. I don't fact
Why
check
not?
here.
It doesn't matter.
Fuck it. People know what I'm talking about.
Jerry Bruckheimer knows.
He knows. And the checks
He
are still coming
it.
in, I bet.
Jerry Bruckheimer is great, too. He gave me some great personal advice.
What did he tell you? Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer who's produced everything, he's got to be worth a billy?
He got a billy. He probably got a billy.
And you know what? He's got ill teeth. He's got some of the sickest teeth in Hollywood.
Perfect teeth.
Yo, his teeth game. I fuck with Jerry Bruckheimer, but every time I see him, I go, Jerry Bruckheimer, you got some nice fucking teeth, man. You don't want anything to do with his choppers. His furniture is official.
Detroit. Bruckheimer got a billy, but Bruckheimer did not start out with a billy.
No.
Unlike Trump, he was not given a small loan of $2 million to start his company. Okay, he came out of a mail room. Okay?
No, he came up.
He progressed from like nothing. He partnered in these ways, and of course, that was old Hollywood in a sense. And
yeah.
He made movies back then that made hundreds of millions of dollars.
Hundreds.
Including Remember the Titans.
Yes.
Which at that time was Denzel's highest grossing film.
That was his first big
$100 million joint. And we made that for small chips. Well, not really small, but it was average money.
So what you said, Jerry Bruckheimer gave you advice. What was the piece of advice he gave?
The piece of advice had to do with money. He said that, in short, he said that he gave me a story about starting the mailroom and everything I was starting to tell you. But then he said, you know, when you make money, people think the more money you make, the more you spend. But really, the more you should make, the more you should save. He said, Wood, when you go into making money, the more you make, the more you save. And business is all about a low overhead and high profiting on quality material.
And basically what he's saying by that, and I'm going to read between the lines, is the low overhead means I want you to save the little fucking peanuts I'm going to pay you because I'm going to fuck you. I'm going to fuck you on the money.
We're not going to pay
but
you
when you start making money,
when you start making money,
but take this piece of advice.
You're
and
good
value
at
that.
what you do, young man.
No, I'm just fucking because Jerry Bruckheimer is. I love all his shit. He's a pillar of Hollywood, and he continues to go. Denzel Washington. What is it like working with him?
I love Denzel. Everybody loves Denzel.
What is his process like?
Denzel is a pro. What I learned from Denzel is, because you learn a little bit on the set, whether you know it or not, but when he shows up on a set, you know you're making a film. Like, when you make an independent film, it feels like that sometimes.
Right.
But when you show up, and when Mike shows up on the set, Mike Rapp shows up on the set, everybody feels like, well, you know what? We're doing a film. It's because you're carrying that energy. And I just remember Denzel coming on the set as a professional dude, like, he always was prepared. I never saw him unprepared. In between takes, he was working. He was looking at his sides, and there was never like just sort of downtime. You see him just joshing around a little bit, and it was cool in the way that he did all that. You know,
and there's kids and stuff like there's other, you know, like his younger actors. And
all. He didn't just mentor us or try to be, you know, some kind of dude. He didn't have like an ego. Sometimes you can work on like I'm doing a movie right now. There's a young actor on there that's popular, and you know,
I know exactly who you. I know. Yeah, got you.
And he carries it in a wrong way, you know. But he's just a young dude, but he's carrying it like in a way that's not a cohesive thing. He's a separate entity on the set. And when you're in an ensemble thing, you separate yourself.
Not good.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
If I'm playing Jimi Hendrix, this ain't. I can be separate because, you know, I'm Jimi Hendrix. I got to be in a zone as Jimi Hendrix. When I go back to the hotel, I got to stay kind of Jimi Hendrix. I can't go into Wood. I can't be chilling and I can't chill. I can't.
Right,
chill.
you got to stay in it.
I got to do something he would do.
But you're not necessarily saying like you're like, because like obviously the person that they talk about a lot now with Daniel Day-Lewis, you're not one of these actors, I assume, who's like where they go like, Wood, and you're like, no, call me Jimmy on the set. No. But people, when Daniel Day-Lewis was on that shit, but you're staying in the vibe of it. If you call me
Jimmy, I'm not gonna say call me Wood either.
Right? No, I hear you.
So I just feel like,
but you're staying in the vibe of what you're doing.
Call me
in
Jimmy.
the zone.
I just think you don't know my name though.
Mr. Hendrix,
like
could you?
Mr. Hendrix.
You have.
I'm clearly Mr. Hendrix. Look at this wig.
Right. Fuck. If they're not calling you Mr. Hendrix and you're on the set playing Jimmy and you got a fucking wig and you got some ball cruncher pants on and some a blouse.
What is going on? But right, why would they call me Wood anyway? But
right, at this point, we're all.
I know what you mean. though. There's that. But this young man, you know, you make it about yourself as the individual. Literally, your government name is what this is about. It's about who that person on the set, and it shouldn't be that.
I hear you.
We working to make this story happen. This is storytelling off pages. You know, you trying to be a little god. You're making something out of nothing, and how you gonna be a mini god when you stuck on your own balls because somebody knows who you are and walk up the street? Like,
and yo, Duke, take your motherfucking headphones out while you're off camera. Also, because I take
you dig.
You're off camera.
And you're not listening to. And you're not.
You waiting for a phone? Like, yo, my man, you walking off. You're working with G's. Take your headphones out. Leave your phone down the street.
Leave your shit down the street.
But all right, so okay.
So when the wind blows and motherfuckers ain't saying your name no more, what you gonna do?
Exactly.
Anyway.
All right. So because I can't do the whole fucking Wood Harris fucking retrospective, but I'm gonna pick some other things. Okay. When you were doing The Wire, remember you told me this. Avon Barksdale. First of all, are you like, who the fuck is this British guy, Idris? Like, because he came out of nowhere. And then when you did that, I remember you told me, because I hadn't seen you for a little bit. I knew texts and all that shit. But I remember when The Wire became what it is now, this iconic, considered one of the best shows ever, as it should be. And you guys are, you're playing this character, Avon Barksdale, which is like iconic. People know it. It crossed over because it was like you guys brought the street. You and Idris brought the street. And it was like official. You and Michael K. Williams, homegirl, what was her name?
Snoop.
I mean, you guys, like, there was like great actors, some actors we know, some actors we don't know.
Michael B. Jordan is from there. Michael Williams is from that. Myself, Idris Elba. There's a lot of talented people.
And what's the main guy? I'm sorry,
Dominic. You mean?
Yeah, Dominic
cop.
West. Yeah, I mean, so
Dominic.
There's a whole
Golden
fucking
Globe
slew.
winners and
Schreiber was in it.
Yeah,
Pablo Schreiber. I mean, that show broke a lot of people.
Method Man is in it.
Method Man is in
Tristan Wilde is in it.
And
it did birth a lot of people. Now you think about it.
That's a list of fucking people.
Like 10 people, yeah.
So when you
I tell you, man, we cared about The Wire though. Like I would say that the core group, me, Mike, Idris, Hassan Johnson, Andre Royo,
Michael K.
Michael K.
That
Williams.
broke. I mean, I don't know if we put him on
Michael
broke the
B.
shit
Jordan.
out of him. Michael B. Jordan
I'm
was
forgetting. I'm forgetting his name, and it's gonna kill me. But he was in Straight Outta Brooklyn. What's his name? The actor.
Yes, my man. Yes, we know who. Listen, there's no fact checking here. So basically, we know who you're talking about.
I love
the dude.
Mike, man. Yo.
That's what it is. That's what the fuck it is. So pretty much
people,
everybody
man, they
worked
cared.
off that show.
Everybody worked.
David Simon.
David Simon's brilliant. Everybody loves David Simon.
So-
Nina Noble, David Simon,
To
and the
jump
producers.
into that,
The Wire.
this is the thing I want to bring up.
Okay.
Is I wanted to ask you, and I'll say this because I know you said it in the most respectful way. After The Wire, like I remember, or while it was sort of popping, like you had told me, and I know I understand this now because I do this too, but I never understand it when it's. I guess as a fan, when you're obsessed with something, you love it. But I remember you saying. And I don't know if it's changed now, but like you were saying, like you hadn't seen all the episodes. You hadn't followed sort of the hysteria of it. And you were kind of unaware while you were doing it because it kind of was a slow burn. It wasn't like
very slow
Breaking
burn.
Bad where it was like this national phenomenon. Like people watched it and then it kind of caught on later and then it kept and it sort of continues to live.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you know Mike well, that when you're shooting something, you don't really know the outcome of it.
Right.
So you just think that if maybe you do your best, the outcome will be good.
Right.
Or, you'll have the best outcome.
Right.
So during The Wire, we just cared about the scripts, man. David Simon is a good guy. You know you're working for a good guy. You get great scripts. And we're by the book. When you watch The Wire, it might look improvisational, but that's by the book acting. In fact, I think all of my stuff is really by the book. I don't really improv a lot. But
You mean so the scripts were like tight like
Those are
that?
the scripts, tight.
Even the slang and the flow?
Even the slang and the flow.
He was like the writers were writing that shit.
Yeah, the writers were writing it. It's a written show, fully written acted show.
Okay.
I just think that it didn't have. I think Breaking Bad has social media, maybe.
That's true.
Yeah, The Wire didn't have that, and
I think The
Wire
Wire's a
had
more
Netflix,
complicated show. And it's no disrespect because I fuck with Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, all those shows. But you're right. I think the social media. Now, if they had social media for The Wire,
I don't know what would happen.
it would have taken it to
just
that
would be-
Breaking Bad level.
And it got social media, but in hindsight. So
but it didn't get social media like
in its
Twitter
time.
while it was on.
No, not at all. No.
And it
gets
wasn't like
now.
that weekly thing. It wasn't
Nope.
that. It was a little bit. So I mean, listen, it's considered the best show, if not your favorite show, top 1, 2, or 3 show.
Yeah, I mean that to me, man. Who's gonna be able to predict that? We just
You didn't know, so you're just like, this is a good script.
Yeah, me, Idris. I didn't even work with Mike Williams,
Right?
Because if I'm working with him, we're shooting each other.
Kill that cocksucker.
Yeah, he's gonna kill me, or I'm gonna kill him.
Right.
So I only work with Driss, and me and Driss, we commuted. Me and Idris was a new talent at that time. Me too, really. And
No, you had already.
I had done things, but I had never done a series.
No, you had never done a
that's
series.
a whole nother thing.
Absolutely.
When we do a series, when actors do movies, that's one thing. Television is another different fruit. It really is. I mean, it's guaranteeing that people are going to see you on a weekly basis, or nowadays it's a daily basis.
Right.
So a movie means that weekend people are going to come and the movie's going to go away. But television really does a different thing, especially HBO at that time. I think HBO has kind of done some different things unlike they used to have it, basically.
Yeah.
But I would say that The Wire is a classic now because people exalt it the way they do. And I still haven't seen it. I've seen some of it. I've seen some of the clips. I watched some clips.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I can't sit up and watch it now.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I get it. But so basically, and no disrespect, like when I did higher learning, I remember at the press junket.
Which he should have got a chip for that.
Come on.
Nah, he should have got a chip.
When I'm doing
for
higher
that.
learning, I remember at the press junket, I'm fucking like a kid in a candy store, and I said to Fishburne, I said, yo.
If anybody else would have directed that same movie the same way, he'd have got a chip.
Oh, shit.
Or he'd have got the nod. I think they just didn't. I think they overlooked John.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Mike would have got a chip nod for sure. And the other dude was dope too. I forgot. I don't know his name.
No,
I see his
everybody.
face all the time.
Cole Hauser.
Yeah, that dude is dope.
But
he
I
always
remember,
is dope.
I remember
that's
saying,
one for the podcast too. Nobody knows anything about him.
That's true. But I remember saying to Fishburne, "Yo, did you see the movie yet?" And he was like, "No, I don't watch my movies." And I was like, "Huh?" And I was like 25, 26. I was like, he's like, "How did you feel doing it?" And I said, "I felt good." And he goes, "Well, if you feel good, you don't need to look at it." And
I feel that way.
I now I'm at that point where I'm like, I really don't watch the shit that I'm in, but it's just because, sometimes I do, but at the end of the, like, I used to watch it almost as to proofread.
I can't get through something I'm in.
It
I don't
gets
give a
hard.
shit what it is. I can get through it at the premiere. That's it.
Yeah.
After the premiere, it's
tough.
It's tough, and I don't like watching myself. I don't feel like I need to watch myself. It's something that's very masturbatory about watching yourself do something you did, and so you got to look at everybody else or whatever. But
I used to watch it as like a proofread because, first of all, when I first started acting, I couldn't believe that I was in a fucking movie. I was like, holy! I was like, what the fuck?
Listen, I still see the shit. I still see takes. I go see.
Right.
I work with the directors now.
The monitors.
I go look at the monitor. I know
Editing
what they
rooms.
took. Yeah, when we do ADR, I get a feel of it. It's not like I'm totally ignorant about what I've seen. Sometimes I like what I see. Sometimes I feel like I wish I did something different, or something different happened by a different, from a different actor, or not an actor, but different take. But
that's the biggest thing that frustrates me as an actor.
And I don't like that. I don't like to be frustrated. And sometimes they give you a private screening, and I'll see my thing all the way through, and I don't like to feel even a glimmer of discouragement.
Right.
It's like a painting to me. You put it on the wall and get the fuck out the gallery.
Right.
Let everybody else look at it and judge it. And honestly, man, I am artistic because I really mean it.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about love and hate either. Because if some people come up to me and say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And occasionally you get the, man, fuck you.
Right.
People come and go, I know who you are, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
In my life, like, listen, 2 weeks ago, I'm at the fucking Astro Burger, right? And there's a great friend of mine who I grew up with. His name is Godfrey. I don't know if you know the comedian.
Oh,
Godfrey.
yeah, I know Godfrey.
Godfrey I grew up with, right? And so he happened to be in there, I bump into him. Oh, shit, we going through this type of, hey, man, it's been some years, this and that. So it's a cat in there. He's like, Wood Harris? And I said, yeah, what's happening? And he's like, man, Hendrix? He mentioned Hendrix of all things. I wouldn't think this dude would mention Hendrix. He's kind of look like a hood dude, right? So he said Hendrix, and usually hood cats might say something about paid in full or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, Hendrix. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's a cool thing. And so Godfrey gets back into me. Now, my friend Godfrey's back was to this guy. So when Godfrey turns around, he recognized Godfrey. He goes, Godfrey? Right away he goes, man, fuck Wood Harris. Man, I want to be you.
Right.
Fuck Wood Harris, I want to be you.
He loved you and shitted on you in a matter of moments. He shit on me
in 2 seconds. And then here's the other thing. He was sitting with his chick, right? And I could, listen, I'm a funny guy. Right now I'm stopping the jokes from raining out of my mouth about the aesthetic of the whole situation. But he's sitting with this chick. She eating a pastrami and cheese on fries type thing, right? So I'm a casual dude. Like I wear, like I had on these same things, these same little slippers. I got on like flip flops.
Them is house shoes.
They house shoes, flip flops.
Yeah, those are flip flops. Those aren't actually house shoes.
They're not house shoes. They're flip flops.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
sorry,
I just like the flip flops.
I'm on that shit too.
Yeah, I wear flip flops. I'm super casual when I'm moving around. I'm not. So the girl goes, "Are you a bum?"
Right.
And the guy goes, what are those? That World Star shit where they pointed at your shoes and they go, what are those?
Yeah.
This is at the Astro
This is
Burger.
the same dude?
One in the same dude who was just like, oh my God, what are... He goes, what are those? And then, so he's trying to like, I mean, they went into trying to make me react or respond, whatever it was. So you know what I told this dude? And I got this from Most Def 2 days before I told it to this dude. I told him, man, listen, man, spread love. Period, bro. Just spread love, man. If I was a real bum, what would you be doing to me now?
Right.
You just want me to feel bad? Would you want a bum to feel bad?
Mm-hmm.
Spread love. Now, the funny shit is this. Let me tell you the funny shit. Now, in my heart, really, I'm the type to sock a motherfucker in the jaw, but it's been many years of just I'm just not that dude.
Right.
I'm not that dude, but it was a holding back that had to happen because on the real, I mean, even right now, I feel it. Like,
right.
I just want to sock that dude.
Right.
So listen how karma works. 4 days later.
Oh, shit.
4 days later, I see this dude and he don't see me. Right? He got these 2 chicks with him. And I'm at
He keeps some hoes with him, though.
Keeps some hoes with him. The 2 chicks was cool. The first chick was...
She's busted.
Yeah, she's like anyway, I ain't gonna go into it. But so he got these 2 chicks with him and he don't see me at all. I'm at a different little spot where you can grab some food in the middle of the night.
The interesting is you guys are on the same eating schedule.
We on the same eating schedule. Me and him eat at the same time. So I get takeout shit though. He's eating at these places. So I gotta bounce. I'm on some I wish I didn't have to be here. I gotta get this sandwich fast shit. So I see him, he don't see me. So I'm thinking to myself, I see his car too, because I remember his car because he's making a big deal about his car, how he got all kinds of cars and shit like that.
Yo, Duke, no one gives a fuck about your car.
Nobody gives a fuck about your car.
My man, no one gives a fuck about your car.
He goes, listen, anyway, so I see this dude and I'm thinking to myself, now I'm alone too, again, I'm all alone. I think, should I sock this motherfucker in his jaw on GP? Just out on GP, just let him come in the parking lot, eat, and sock him out in front of these 2 hoes on general principles.
Smack the French fries out your
mouth.
motherfucking mouth.
Shit out this dude just on GP. But then I sat in the parking lot for like 10 minutes after I got my food. The whole time this joker didn't see me, and I thought, I'm gonna take the high road and slowly drove out of the parking lot, dog. So. To me, I'm cool, man. I'm just cool.
No, I hear you.
Cool, because I really wanted to punch the dude. Just on GP, on some...
I had an encounter similar to that. I got 2 kids
in my own type shit, and I got a joker talking to me about anything?
Listen to this shit. Talk about a fucking story.
Got away with the spread love shit.
No, check this out. I'm in the Starbucks 7 in the morning one morning in Wilshire, LA, with my son.
Yo, Mike, we got a segment. We get stars on the show. Talk about how people fuck with them. Not
right.
all that happy shit about, now, what was the next thing you did that was great?
Right. No, fuck the movie.
People want to know who, like, they want to know somebody said to Brad Pitt,
right,
yo, fuck you.
Can you imagine that kind of fame?
Oh, they get it, bro. They don't even know.
Listen to this story. Tell me how you would have reacted.
We got shit to produce. If somebody try to take that idea, man, listen.
Which one? The above the rim shit? They're not taking.
Both of those.
No, they ain't taking
segment,
shit.
None of that.
They're not, I'm in here with Wood Harris.
Broadcasting this all day.
I'm in here with. There's no one taking shit. Listen to this story. 7:15 in the morning. I'm with my son. At the time, he's 14 now. He must have been 11 years old. And we're going to Starbucks. I walk in. I take him to get his drink. We parked legally. Nothing. I didn't do anything in it. Whatever. I take him to get his latte or the fucking frappuccino or whatever, yogurt, whatever he wants. I walk out with my thing. When I'm coming back into the car, I'm with my son. This chick, black chick, she says to me, before we get out of the car, I hear her asking people. She doesn't ask me. She didn't see me. I hear her asking people. She's I think she's a druggie or something. She's like asking, "Can I get $1? Can I get $1?" She's in her red car, regular looking car, like a Toyota, nothing beat up, but like a regular looking, kind of nice looking girl.
Right. Wow.
I walk back into the car. She goes, "You're not gonna give me no fucking money? Who the fuck do you think you are, motherfucker? I know who the fuck you are, motherfucker. I'm with my son, motherfucker. You an actor and you're not gonna give me any money." This is my son's right. He's like, his face dropped. I'm so surprised because I'm like, it's just like an onslaught. It's early in the morning too, so you barely woken up. And then I don't know how to react. So she's going on and on and on. We get in the car. My son's quiet. I'm like, "I'm sorry that happened." He's like, "Do you know her?" I'm like, "No." He's like, I was like embarrassed, angry. I was glad I didn't react. But so karma. A week later, I'm at another Starbucks about a half a mile away. Same time in the morning, but it's on a Sunday.
Y'all on a breakfast schedule.
Yo, me and her on the same
You're on the
food schedule,
same
probably
fucking
with
food
this
schedule.
joker that you with.
Crazy.
I go into the Starbucks. I come out, the same woman. She's like, and I see her from a distance, and as she sees me, she goes, motherfucker. She starts it with me again, but now I'm by myself. I said, listen to me, bitch. I said, because my heart is racing. Now, she's on the other side of her car, and I never talk to a woman this way. But I was so upset by this shit. I said, listen to me,
funny.
bitch. If you say another thing to me, I'm going to break your fucking jaw.
motherfucking jaw.
And her face dropped. And that was it. And I got my car. I said, don't say a fucking thing to me. If you see me again, don't say a fucking thing to me. And I didn't even think twice. And I'm not that dude at all.
Shit, you are now.
No,
kid.
but
How you gonna say you ain't that dude when you was that dude?
I never spoke to a woman like that in my life, but it was so fucking upsetting. But I'm so glad I didn't do anything the first time it happened because I was with my son. Because what am I gonna do? I mean, I didn't know what. Like it was like I got hit with a shooting star. It was so the first time to just start yelling at you, you motherfucker,
That's
like
terrible.
a woman.
That's terrible.
And not even like a homeless, like she looked normal.
Oh yeah. No,
Anyway.
she was sane too.
All right, so let me ask you a question about The Wire.
Okay.
So Idris Elba,
Idris, not Idris.
listen.
Id, like the id
Idris?
and the ego. Idris.
If I had Idris Elba on here and I said Idris, do you think he would be like
No,
it's
I don't think he would. I just think
because that's hit and miss for me. Idris, like that shit's short.
It's Idris.
ID.
Idris. He introduced himself as Idris.
Okay,
Not Idris.
that's fantastic. I'm a fan, Idris. But I find myself stuttering.
You should say Idris because it sounds better when you say.
Yeah, I
Idris.
say Idris. No disrespect.
Say Idris.
But so he's blown up into a humongous star. But when you first did that, The Wire with him, are you like, who's this fucking British dude? Is he speaking with that accent? Because he had the New York, like, East Coast shit down, packed.
Idris is a super cool dude. Period. I mean, you know, he's a team player.
Okay.
He's you know, at that time he was unfamous, so you know, I wasn't no kind of like big ass star or nothing like that. I'm still not. I don't consider myself no kind of giant star. Idris is a bigger star, you could say. He got a lot going on, and at that time, you could say that he deserves it though. To
Right.
me, he deserves to shine.
No
you
doubt.
know. I love him. You know, see, that's the thing, man. When I think about Idris, I think, you know, that's one guy who deserves what he has, you know, and sometimes I don't feel that way about some actors.
Right.
You know, I got a lot of love for everybody from The Wire. I just do, man. I feel like that's like I don't know, like a gang or something, and you know, it's like my peers.
I hear you.
know.
I hear you. And a lot of
There was no knowing that he would transform and become so popular. You know, all the hindsight, I ain't even seen the show. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I definitely don't know.
Right.
But working with him, he's a great actor.
Right.
I know a great actor when I'm working with one, and Idris is a great actor. He's not a good actor, not a very good actor. He's going to be great or brilliant or genius. There's some actors can be good and very good. You know, they range from okay, good, and very good, but Idris really ranges from great on up. So when you're dealing with that, you know, steel sharpens steel, and I think we both work easily with each other because there's listening going on.
Gotcha.
There's not an ego.
Right.
Ain't nobody on their cell phone.
Right.
And their headphones.
Right.
If anything, we dissect the scene together. We like, sometimes his British accent would stick out. He would like, can you hear me in English? You hear my accent? Yeah,
And
I did hear it a little bit, and we do another take. So dope sharing.
Absolutely. Because when you're rocking, you're rocking. You're like,
Like when we do our show, you heard?
right. No doubt.
But anyway,
Who's another actor you worked with where you felt like that? This guy's really like. Who's another actor you worked with over the years that you were like, or actress that you were just like impressed by? Like, this is a really good actor.
You know, man, I can't say that I feel impressed because not even with working with Idris, you know, it just feels like we're
But I'm
working
saying
together
that ultimate
so much.
not that you felt
You know what I
better,
mean?
like, you know, but like where you're like, this is somebody.
No, by impressed I mean, but okay, let me
You know how
see.
you like when you're working with, like I said, like when you're working with some people,
Oh,
you're
you
like,
just know that
you're like
that
this
you're
person,
working with
like
a
you know,
great-
like yeah, you just feel like you're just like it's like if you're playing ball, like yo, money could play.
Oh, I see what
You
you're
know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you're-
yeah. Man, that shit don't happen a lot, bro.
It doesn't happen a lot.
It's definitely the people. I mean, I've been very fortunate. I can't say that I've had a lack of that. Like Billy Zane can fucking act.
Yeah, he's good.
I don't know where Billy Zane is right now. But Billy Zane was dope.
Right.
He was in character the whole time. You never saw him out of character. He was still listening to you in character.
Right.
He was dope.
Right.
It's more often that you work with actors that aren't connected, that are trying, that you can see the wheels spinning.
Right.
Let me think who else. I mean, doing Broadway, I would say on Broadway with Nicole Parker. Nicole Ari Parker on Broadway. You guys should have seen that. She was definitely the Broadway experience was unbelievable. She was really killing it every night. And she was in the zone.
Was it bugged out and fun for you? I remember when we did Justified, we were in scenes together, but we didn't have any.
Yeah, it's
with
like,
your brother though.
I
like,
wish. No, actually, that was really great too because that was real good. Like, Justified experience.
The TV show I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was a real free experience where you felt like I could do what I want to do and everybody's doing what they want to do, and there was a room full of like you can trust these actors know what they're doing type actors. So I have to be, I guess, hindsight about it because when I'm doing it, when I'm acting, I don't feel like I'm doing anything but being in those moments. So when I leave it, I don't know. I could feel that the whole experience was dope. You know, like even now, the stuff we're doing now, Mike, I'm having really great experiences with the guys and working with the kids too, because I think my character works with the kids and the adults. He's the only one that works. So the kids are unbelievable, bro. I never really worked with so many
we
kids.
could say me and Wood are both working on the BET New Edition project.
Yeah, biopic.
And Wood's part, you know, because I know like they were like, oh, don't say this, don't that. Wood's part carries through a big chunk in the movie, and there's young New Edition, and then there's the older New Edition. And the young kids, I saw them, they look bugged out.
Man,
they got the little do-rags on, like
so
the original,
fresh.
like they're like 13-year-old kids.
It's one of my most fun experiences right now. I must say, you know, I love working in the music stuff when you're doing a movie that has music, like
right.
And nothing. Then you get the concert scene with all the extras.
Right.
The extras give you the energy, and that stuff is fun. But when you do gangster stuff, a lot of that stuff, or you do stuff like that, or urbanized films, or stuff that's drama, and they want drama. You know, I feel like I kind of feel pinned down by that because even though I don't want to be perceived as a dramatic actor,
right?
'Cause I feel like then you're held as a dramatic actor,
right?
I'd rather just be perceived as an artist who,
right?
You know, even though I ain't trying to be, Eddie Murphy, I still could do the Richard Pryor biopic. I could do it.
They still haven't cast that yet, have they?
No, they got Mike Epps.
But they haven't started doing it, right?
No, they haven't started doing it. But that's what I mean, you know, like I think once people perceive us as great at drama, see, you're perceived differently.
But they marginalize you.
You're funny though. You're funny. And you're funny.
But some motherfuckers think, I know what you
No, but you're funny. You're funny in real life. People have gotten to experience you in real life.
Right.
So, you know, on shows and things like that. So people know this guy's got a great sense of humor. Kind of like Anthony Anderson is funny.
Right.
So you know he can go do drama.
Right. Right.
What's his name? Seth Rogen. He said that drama was just comedy without punchlines. And he's kind of right. He was saying that drama is a little easier than comedy, in that drama is just giving up the stuff that you say before the punchline.
I hear you.
Punchline is to pay off the hard part.
Right.
And you know what? That dude is right.
A bad joke
that
falls harder than...
guy is right.
He's fucking good.
He's right. Seth is right.
So you speaking of the gangster shit. Well, I got two other things I want to cover.
Okay.
There's NBA. But here's what I also want to cover. I want to cover. I'm imagining the Creed, because. All right, hold the fuck on. I got a lot of shit. I'm on coffee. I get excited. Here's what I want to talk to you about. Paid in Full.
Okay.
which is I don't want to say a cult classic, but it's some sort of classic. It's not a mainstream classic.
Not a mainstream classic.
Okay, and if you haven't seen Paid in Full, it's based on a true
like an urban classic. Really
it's an urban
black classic.
It's a black classic. It's an urban classic.
Minister Society.
Yes, it's one of those
Boys in the Hood.
But it didn't reach the crossover that Menace and Boys, but it has
because really you got Damon Dash working with it.
And I felt like it was a missed opportunity because I don't know if you know this, but I grew up
I agree.
in that era.
Oh, that's right. I did know
and
that.
And I
forgot that.
Paid in Full is about three. Let's call it
in your neighborhood.
Three gangsters.
Yeah.
It was AZ.
AZ Faison.
Alpo. Who's I mean, there's another movie just on Alpo's story.
He was crazy though.
And Rich Porter. And if you listen to any hip hop songs, those names might sound familiar if you don't know. But I mean, Alpo, Rich Porter, listen to Nas,
go see
listen to
Paid in Full.
Jay-Z.
I'm proud of people who go see Paid in Full.
It's a very good film, but I felt like it should have been a urban. I hate that word urban or a ghetto Goodfellas. The story is as crazy as Goodfellas. And to tell you, when I was growing up,
man, the politics happened like this. Just to let you know what happened to Paid in Full. Paid in Full. Dame Dash, Jay-Z, they produced that. That film was also produced by Miramax. Miramax, that's a big company.
And this is when Miramax was popping.
This is when Miramax was popping.
And Jay-Z and Rockefeller was like...
And Jay-Z, and then that's when they made $80 million in 18 months selling Rockaway, okay?
God
so, but what happened to Paid in Full? Let me tell you. That's when the egos were higher than the clouds. On I would say on the Dame Dash side of things. And I love Dame. I got love for Dame, because I just do, because I'm just that dude. But I will say that his relationship with Harvey Weinstein at that time really did a disservice to the movie.
Right.
I think that they bumped heads. I don't think Harvey, and you can imagine those two guys not clicking. And Miramax is a distributor. So two things happened to that movie that undermined the movie. That was at the time where the R. Kelly tape came out, right? So bootlegging on the street, which y'all don't do. This is modern times. So movies being bootleg, DVDs on the block don't happen so much anymore because it's just we live in a digital era completely now. But at that time, people went and bought mixtapes on the corner. People fucking went and bought DVDs on the corner.
Right.
And
bootlegging was popping off.
Bootleg was popping off crazy. So
you know that this podcast is the only podcast that still gets bootleg. We're so fucking popping that the bootleggers were keeping them in business.
Bootleg this.
Okay, they want to bootleg the shit, but you can get it for free. Anyway, go ahead.
People write songs off the shit they say on podcasts, bro.
No doubt.
This is a real thing right here.
No doubt.
But so what happened with Paid in Full was it got second to the R. Kelly tape. It was the most bootlegged fucking thing on the block.
Wow.
Now, how did that happen? I don't know.
It's because it had the appetite for it because it was such a anticipated. I hate these terms, but it was such an anticipated hood film.
Definitely.
Especially where the bootleggers thrive, which is 125th, 116th, up and down 8th Avenue.
It was on the block.
I mean, this is when the bootleggers.
It was on the block. Now, how to get on the block? But the difference now, see,
everything gets on the fucking block.
Everything is on the block.
Everything gets on the block. If Star Wars could get on the block, Paid in Full could get on the block.
And Paid in Full got on the block back then when it was like
there was no internet.
No
Netflix, no streaming.
So
it was selling like hotcakes.
So it was hotcakes. It was like the record industry. How they sell records? That's how they sold DVDs.
It hurt the sales of the film. But what about the film itself? Like, what did you think of the end result? And what did you like? I mean,
I don't have a whole opinion on the end result. I'm proud of the journey though.
Right.
Like I said, I mean, I saw that at the premiere, and I've only seen little clips of it. People, it's lived on as a classic, so it must be something about it.
It's a good film.
That's just the way I see it.
But I think it could have been a Goodfellas film. Like, the story was as compelling. And listen, you know what, Goodfellas, just because you have a great story, you know, you're talking about Martin Scorsese, and the director of this is a good director.
Yeah.
Charles Stone is a good...
Yeah, Charlie Stone.
You know, who I know... Because
Charles Stone's a great director.
And he also
directed his best piece.
Yeah, he directed the Benita Applebaum video.
Yeah, he did a lot of he did Roots and Tribe videos. He did also If You if you were out there, that bridge that Erykah Badu did.
And he
did
also
that
did
video.
the "What's up?" Those commercials.
He created that.
But
He didn't just direct that. That's what put him in fame.
Just because it was a great story,
They don't remember those Budweiser. Was that? Can I say that?
Was it "What's up"? Was that Budweiser?
It was one of
What's
those,
up?
Something like that. What was that?
I don't know,
That
but
was
we
an
should
ad.
revamp them shits. You and me. What's up? What's up? But growing up in
John and come back and shit.
growing up in Harlem, at that time, being around it. I'm not from Harlem, I'm from Manhattan, but those guys, Alpo, shit,
The rooftop.
the
I mean,
rooftop,
Latin quarters.
Rich Porter, seeing them drive around in BMWs, hearing the folklore, seeing them in front of Willie's Burgers on 145th Street, and
They
like
don't know. See, nostalgia that's ours to own from that experience.
Yes.
These modern pod listeners, some get it, but you just gotta see the movie and hopefully you like the movie.
Yeah, you should
We live in a different world now.
it's a totally different world.
Boys and girls are the same thing.
Totally different. One of the things that I think sucked for
Be a boy
that
and a
film
girl
too.
at the same time.
It was not shot in New York City, right? The whole film.
Part of it was, but no, it was shot in Toronto. You're
Very
saving
little.
money because it's interiors.
No, I got it.
All the exteriors are New York, and some of the interiors, but a lot of the interior we went to Toronto because in show business, folks, people, what difference does it make with the inside, where you are when you're shooting on the inside of something? So, a lot of the exterior shots you see, we're in another country because there was a way to have tax write-offs and things like that.
All right. So that's all I'm going to cover right now for your career and all the shit you've done. There's so much more to come, and there's so much more we could talk about in the past.
That's cool.
And I expect Hollywood. First of all, I think you're one of the best. I sincerely believe this. I really think you're one of the most talented dudes out there, and I think that I
feel like the best is yet to come.
That's what I was just going to say for you. I feel like the best is yet to come too for you because I feel like you've only tapped the surface of what you're capable of. Yeah. What I wanted to ask before I get into these playoffs, and I want to hear your take on this, is what was your stance on the Oscars? So white, the Black Hollywood, the Oscars, the whole fucking fiasco. Because at the end of the day, for me, the whole thing turned into a fiasco because I felt like the Oscar show itself was a fucking joke. Now, based on the fact that I've already teased you that your internet game, I'm going to bet, if I had to bet, not knowing this, you didn't watch the fucking Oscars. You don't fuck with the Oscars, right?
I didn't see the Oscars.
You didn't see the show.
That's a good bet.
Oh.
But I saw Chris Rock's thing. I saw his comedy stuff. See nowadays what I utilize is just snippets, bro.
I got you.
I'm gonna go see the opening monologue and then I'm done.
But how do you feel? Because you're one of these actors. You're a black actor who
Yes.
is sort of and again like a lot of it is politics. A lot of it is just timing, whatever. But like, what is your take on Hollywood, being a black actor in Hollywood, being an actor like you who's who could be considered a leading man, all the different sort of the variables and also taboos of all that. Like, what is your take on it, and what was your take on the whole thing that happened this past Oscar season, and just your history of being in this shit over 20 years? Like, let me hear your feelings on that shit.
First of all, just the Oscar thing. I'll tell you my first thought. My first thought was that there are bigger fish to fry than the Smoscas. Mm-hmm. I felt like to put so much attention toward not getting an award of some type or being underrepresented. That was my first thought. I felt like I don't watch it enough to care about it so much so. If I get an Oscar nomination, I'm gonna go to the Oscars, and get the award.
Right.
But you're hard pressed to see me cry about the trophy or over a trophy so I just I'm super realistic about that now because I'm older.
Right.
I used to have a dreamy romance with the Oscars.
Right.
So not to say that I haven't been before. Now all these people complaining about it, they're like my age. So I don't understand how they are on my page a little bit about it. But they have their own perspective. So how I look at it was that, again, there are other things to be more concerned about in the black culture rather than a trophy given to you, which is, it's based on somebody liking it or not liking it. Like, how can I really say, like I said, like, I really believe that Mike should have got a nod for what he did in Higher Learning. No, I mean that. And I'm sure he's heard that before. Many people probably say it, because unless they're not talented enough to see it. But what you gonna say about it?
Right.
It's totally up to them. It's 6,000 people making that decision, and
it's so subjective, and it's so
super
much
subjective.
bullshit.
So I didn't feel connected to the mission of it. I can't lie to you. I didn't feel connected to it. But what made me have some perspective on it that was maybe on the other side of the coin was what the Oscars represent by what the Oscar show represents in terms of finance.
Right.
So why shouldn't these movies be made or these performances be seen as Oscar worthy when that means they make more money?
Right.
So there's commerce so now there's a translation of commerce that's not happening because of bias.
Right.
So that's a problem. So now the same opportunities aren't there. That is a problem. That's a problem. So the mission is one thing. To me, it's a secondary or not a primary concern, Oscars. But because it affects
business, it could affect
affects business so much. When a movie is nominated, it's like a book being not put out of print.
Right.
So when you overlook a performance, and I don't think there's been a whole lot of performances that I'm persnickety about that. Like I can't look. Selma, I wouldn't have nominated Homie either.
I agree.
I didn't see the movie with Will Smith, okay? So I'm not going to talk about it. But I saw Selma, and I had to watch it in 3 days.
Right.
So what am I going to say? Everybody deserves just because they're black?
Right.
And I'm the type of dude, I root for the black quarterback.
Right.
I do. I want the black, I'm black.
Right.
All right? It'd be all right if the black culture is a surviving culture. I want people to understand this. What we see is cultures thriving. When we look in the mirror, we see surviving. And so there's a big difference between thriving and surviving. And for the most part, the black culture is a surviving culture. Surviving, not even check to check. Surviving on loans, on government assistance and things like that. Not a thriving culture, and not a culture either, really. Because we're really an ethnic group. Not enough unity at this time to have a claim of a culture. So to me, Oscar, I'm like Allen Iverson. Practice Oscars?
Right.
Y'all talking about Oscars? Kind of like how he would talk about, say the word practice. You can just fill in the word Oscar. Until you think about the revenue, the business of it. And that's where the devil is, behind the dollar. You just got to see it that way, Mike. It's like, man, Higher Learning could have an indelible place if you'd have got the nod. If one actor would have got the nod. It's amazing that The Wire is so highly regarded. I love that about The Wire. It's so highly regarded because it didn't get any nods.
Nothing, right?
I think it got one
late,
nod,
right?
like late in the game, and it got it for like something. It wasn't pertaining to no
crazy.
acting.
Hey, the thing, because we didn't talk about Creed.
Nah, it's the world's best thing. But that tells me, man, that's why
they don't mean shit.
I love Marlon Brando, Paul Newman, and I just love that generation of actors. I love Humphrey Bogart and Clark Gable, Paul Newman, and Marlon Brando. The old Denzel, the new Denzel. I love the old Larry Fishburne from back in the days. And I like the fact that I did something that's in 35 millimeter.
Right. No doubt.
We got shit that's printed.
That's
that
fucking
ain't
crazy.
Going nowhere. Flintstone movies.
We might not ever do another thing that's
maybe not.
That's nuts.
All these movies are made with O's and ones. Me and Mike, we got enough.
A couple of pieces of film
experience to have actual film.
I never even thought about that. Listen, you're gonna have to be a recurring guest.
That's what's up.
It's the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, the All Wood Harris edition. Covered so much shit. This is probably gonna go down as one of the best interviews. And I had to call.
Super fun.
It's
the best because it's the most fun. For me, it's the most fun.
Absolutely. I've had some motherfuckers on the show.
That's really why.
I've had some people on this motherfucker.
I would ask you to name some names. But
I don't want to name drop. I don't want to name drop. But this, you might have superseded all these motherfuckers. It's the Iron Rapaport Stereo podcast. I'm out.